Hey guys, it's Marshall from Limited Resources, and we're going to be doing some M13. It's finally here. Now we've got some new release queues going, and they are much more reasonably priced than they have been in the past. I'm actually quite happy to run these. I used to do, maybe a draft or a seal just for the video so we could get, something out to you guys. But I wasn't happy about paying the extra premium on the tickets, and if it was just me alone, I probably just wouldn't do it. Maybe do one because I'm kind of a junkie, but beyond that, I wasn't happy about it. I never felt good, but now I feel much better. Big props to Wizards for listening to the player base and making an adjustment here. So here we are. We're in a sealed event because it's the early pre-release part, and this is M13, so let's dive in. I haven't really looked at our pool yet. I usually like to sort by rarity, and that's going to kind of give us an idea. Ooh, and a Johnny. That's kind of sweet. And then we've also got a Primordial Hydra, which can definitely get out of hand for our mythics. And then our rares. Oh, you guys. This is the one card that I really wanted to get. I love this card. I think this card's just sick. Super stoked. Faith's Reward, probably not. Nope, not one of those. This guy's okay. And this guy's fine too. So let's take a look at our colors and kind of see what we have here. Let's just go down the list and I'll just do a quick, I know that this probably isn't the best way to possibly do this, but there's a lot of cards here and I got to get through them. So I'm just going to kind of go through. So Sarah Angel, awesome. Guardian Lions, not awesome. Mercy's not playable. Pillar Field Ox is mediocre. Just talked about that. It's mediocre. Captain Call's fine. A Johnny, definitely awesome. Oblivion Ring, that's a reason to play white. Attended Knight is a reason to play white. Sunstriker's pretty good. Double White's a little rough, but it's a good card. Show of Valor is a fine combat trick. Silvercoat Lion, yep, he makes the cut most of the time. Now, we have a Knight of Glory below him, which is significantly better, obviously, but also would make the cut. Divine Favors, just mediocre, not my favorite card. And then a Mastiff, which I don't like at all. And a War Falcon, which means we've got Attended Knight, which puts in one of each of the things that it needs for a little bit of redundancy. That is a Cleric, so that doesn't work. That's an Angel, that doesn't do it. We're not going to play that. Ox is just an Ox. Captain's Call are all soldiers, so we can battle with the Falcon. It also blocks. Stuff in the air. All right, so let's take a look at blue. Our white looks pretty solid, though. Switcheroo, probably worth running here. I've been unimpressed by it so far, but it certainly has a high top end when it goes. Talron's Invocation. Ooh, double Talron's Invocation. Yeah, that's a pretty big pull for us to play blue right there. Tricks of the Trade's okay. Watercourser is really good. I think it's just really solid. Double Divination, sure. Ooh, Arctic Aven. Yeah, that's a good one. Negate's playable, probably make the main deck. Downpour, poor Elmer the Elk here is having a real rough go of it, and the card's not that good either. Double Unsummon, or triple Unsummon. I wouldn't pay all three, but I'd probably play a couple. Kraken Hatchlings, mediocre. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident's unplayable, and Index is probably the worst card in the set, or at least one of them. All right, so our top end on blue is insane. Our low end on blue is really bad, though. Let's see what our black looks like. Public Execution is awesome. It is 6 mana, so it's not the most efficient, but you can really blow your opponent out, and it just straight up kills anything on the board, so you're pretty happy. Of course you can. And Zombie Goliath, Big Dirtle, he's fine, though. Mark of the Vampire, you can run one. I mean, it gets better against certain decks than other decks, but it is powerful. Disciple of Bolas, we saw that in our rares. I like this card. When it enters the battlefield, you sack a different creature, and you gain X life and draw X cards where it's that creature's power. You can just sacrifice something that you're not going to use anyway, and even just a bear. You draw 2 cards and you get 2 life. It's pretty good. Blood Reckoning's not playable, I don't think. Murder, obviously awesome. Pushes you in black a little bit because it's double black. Double Servant of Nephirox, a good aggressive creature. A Knight of Infamy, very good card as well. On par, I think, with the white one. Double Dressen, which isn't very great, but a Crippling Blight's okay. Let's take a look at our red. Our black is a little short there, but we did have a Public Execution and a Murder, so that's pretty nice there. Turn to Slag, clunky, but it does kill pretty much anything, and you can sometimes get a 2-for-1 off of it. Battle Jester's not my favorite, but he's okay. Double Blade Tuskboar is really good. Wall of Fire is a Wall of Fire. It's not that good. Trumpet Blast pretty much sucks. Rummaging Goblin, now that's a guy. I do like a rummage here. He's a similar to a Merfolk Looter, but slower, and he does a little bit differently, but similar effect on the board once he gets going. Reckless Brute, I don't like that card at all, especially in sealed. He just too often runs into something that eats him, and as well as just trades off with like a 1 toughness anything in their deck. Reverberate's not very good. Searing Spear is obviously amazing. It's Lightning Bolt for 1 extra colorless, but still it's Lightning Bolt and it's awesome. Krenko's Command, sure. I kind of want to be able to abuse it. And this is one way to abuse it. Just get enough creatures out so that my double flunkies can do something. I have another Searing Spear here. Okay, so our red's actually pretty decent. Volcanic Strength is maybe something for when you run up against red, but it's probably not good enough on its own, and Kindle Furies is a reasonable trick. All right, green. Primordial Hydra, awesome. You know, he gets Primordial on their ass. Thing's pretty sweet. Sentinel Spider, 4/4 Vigilance Reach. This guy pretty much just stops the entire board plan of almost any deck. Acidic Slime, pretty much automatic 2 for 1. Great utility. Double Spiked Baloth, so this guy's a 4/2 with Trample. Very aggressive creature, often trades but gets damage through and can be tough to deal with. Ranger's Path gets you 2 extra forests. I don't think we want that. Mwanvuli Beast Tracker is a card that I don't like very much at all. It puts the card on top of your library unless you have a bomb to get. Right now, like, this doesn't actually have Trample, so it can't get that. It can get a Sentinel Spider and Acidic Slime, so it's not too bad. Double Yevus Force Mage is okay. Centaur Courser is just super solid. Plummet, good sideboard card, sometimes a main decker. We saw the Quirion Dryad. You have to pair it with one of these other colors, but we're going to, unless it's red. All right, I mean red too. Excuse me. If we're gonna be pairing with something, so it might not be the worst. Flinthoof Boar, if we pair with red, now that's a 2-drop I want to play. You bet. I've got a bunch of people in the line too, but I had to get this video going. So if you ask me recently, I'll get an invite to you once I can. Double Deadly Recluse, the Black Doomblade. Excuse me, the Green Doomblade as we call it. Reach, Death Touch, 1/2, always gets his man. Take a look at the colorless stuff that we have here. Staff of Nin, maybe my favorite card in the set. I just love that thing. I'm super stoked to play it. We have a red ring, not the best one. We have the white ring, also not the best one. We have a green ring, which I think might be the best one. It's pretty sweet. A Kite Sail to get stuff in the air. Tormod's Crypt for the board, which we won't ever bring in. And a Chronomaton, which probably isn't on par. So what do we want to do here? We've kind of got one of those pools where we're spread out. I kind of want to explore the blue-white list here, though. It looked pretty good. So let's see what we can do here. Maybe that. Yeah. We get to play a Johnny if we do it that way too, which is automatically pretty sweet. I think I would play all of these and probably this. All right, so if we do that, let's look at what our blue looks like. Switcheroo, double Invocation is like basically the main reason that I'm even looking at this thing. I mean, that is just insane. Negate a couple of unsummons, and unfortunately that's it. We could also run a Kraken Hatchling if we wanted. In fact, the Kraken Hatchling probably does make the cut considering we have a bunch of flyers and we'd like to protect like a Johnny and stuff. Actually, this only has, it says 9 creatures, but we do have double Invocation, so that is something to consider, although 11's still pretty short. Like, we definitely need to make some adjustments there. So, like, let's put this in and this in for sure, and then maybe one of these rings. Like, we could run the white one with all of our white creatures or something like that, but let's just say a random ring makes the cut. I don't want to play this. I don't like that one very much, and I definitely don't want to play this guy. So that's a deck. It's only got 12, kind of creatures in it. We could up that if we wanted to, but it's like not too significantly. Our power cards are double Invocation, just super powerful. Staff of Nin, Sarah Angel is really, really good. And then we've got this Aven here, and that thing can turn around a game pretty nicely. So this isn't too bad. But it's not great either. Like, the Invocations are really tempting, but the rest isn't too amazing. Our white really comes down to Oblivion Ring and a Johnny. I mean, all of these are kind of dirtily guys, except for the Knight, who's really good, but Tended Knight's solid. Captain's Call and Pillar Fear Deluxe are just okay, and then the Sarah Angel's very powerful. So what I want to do here is set aside. I don't want to play Tricks of the Trade either if we're low on creatures. I'm going to set aside the white here. And let's look at a few other colors. I'm pretty tempted to play blue. Mainly again because of the invocations. Like that card is just that good that like it actually kind of pushes you in a little bit to playing it. The problem is that we only have like 5 creatures if we do it this way, and like we could easily cut the hatchling and make it only 3. So Arctic Haven and double Talon's Invocation, but negate, unsummon, divination, switcheroo. That none of those are actually creatures. So let's see what we've got here. Let's try out green. We can play the Hydra, the Spider, the Slime, the Baloths. Probably the Beast Tracker, although I'm not a big fan. Double Force Mage. Quirion Dryad, probably not. This certainly helps fill out our curve, though, because like what I'd like to do is splash for these 2 Searing Spears like this and make this into a deck. We'd probably cut, I don't know, the negate and something else, like maybe one of the unsummons. It would look something like this. No fixing is pretty raw. Can't lie, I'm pretty bummed about like the 0 fixing with the double Searing Spear, but that's a thing. I don't think we're going to do red. I really like double Blade Tusk Boar a lot. Flunkies do get better the more you have like things like Krenko's Command, but I don't really want to do that kind of a deck. It just gets outclassed so quickly. If we want to look at black, which we do, we see a Public Execution, a Disciple, Bloodhunter Bat, a Murder, 2 Servants, a Knight, and a Blight. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't think that's really amazing though. Like I'm not unhappy to play this, but I think this green is probably just better. Yavis Force Mage works really well with Spiked Baloths. We're splashing a mountain to get this boar into battle mode here. Recluses can hold stuff off until we can get our invocations going, and then we have like unsummons to clear stuff out of the way. We can also just grind them out with the Staff of Nin. This gives us Ranger's Path, which I don't think is really something that we want. We're basically over here, we're missing out on a Johnny himself, who I think is, I mean, he's great. Like, I certainly want to run him. The thing I really like about a Johnny is that he starts off essentially at 5 loyalty, and he really can threaten ultimate. Like his ultimate is very relevant in limited here, and he can just absolutely kill your opponent. He starts out at 5, and it's just a few turns later that he's all the way up. In the meantime, you're getting value out of him and warping the game state pretty significantly as well. I kind of like this list. Divinations can help a lot with getting to your red mana for cards like Searing Spear. We've got Switcheroo that we can send something crappy like the Monvuli Beast Tracker over or something like that. What does a Beast Tracker actually get? It can get Spiked Baloth. It could get Sentinel Spider. It can get Acidic Slime. I can't get that one. Can only get those. I really don't like it. I think I'm just going to cut it here. Like, I don't, like, remember, it's putting the card on top of your library. You're not even actually netting a card out of the deal. So I think what I'd want is probably just unsummon here. Unsummon when you're green-blue, I find it to be really, really good because you can just sort of develop your board, get a 4/4 out or whatever, get a Spike Baloth out, swing it in there. If they double block, you can unsummon one and get a bunch of damage through. You can just unsummon something huge and just get it out of the way. We're playing Arctic Haven for not full value here. It's a 2/1 flying for 3, which is, it's okay. Certainly unexciting. Now, do we want to run the green ring? Yeah, of course we do. We're in a pretty sweet green deck here, and I think we definitely want to run that. But we need to cut something. At only 13 creatures, I'm pretty reluctant to cut any of our creatures. I definitely don't want to do that. I could see killing. Or actually, we're at 15 though because of the invocations. I forgot. So we're at 15, so we could actually cut a creature here. Like I could definitely cut the Arctic Aven. I could cut a Divination. Having double Divination's a little bit much, but I am a little concerned about our mana because we're going to be running like 2 to 3. If we run double Divination, we can probably get away with just 2 mountains. Going down to 14 creatures doesn't seem like the worst. But the Arctic Haven is in our deck is just actually a 2/1 flyer for 3, which is like pretty mediocre. So I think I like this better. The Ring can turn our Flint Hoof Boar or our Deadly Recluse into, kind of a long-term game threat, a game plan. Same thing with just like a Yeva's Force Mage. Wait till it gets to 4/4 and start beating down. And then, this is just like a sweet game plan late too. Okay, let's add some lands here. Suggest. Yeah, I do like only playing 2 mountains here. We're very heavy green. We do need a little bit of blue at some point. We do want to hit our invocations as well. But I think that I think we can go like 8/7. I think we can do that. Like eight's quite. I guess maybe we would just want 9. Like hitting our Deadly Recluses on time is pretty important. Our green mana is pretty easy though. Yeah, I think I like it like this. Yeah, this seems fine to me. The Divinations are going to help a lot. We're going to be able to grab more lands and kind of, work through our deck. So is there anything that we're missing huge? Quarian Dryad seems pretty good. Like it comes down on turn 2 and you can do a lot of stuff with it, but it's not like super amazing. Kite Sail may be okay, but I think I just like the Ring better in this deck. I'd love to splash for a Rummaging Goblin, but I don't think I quite have it in me. And plus, it doesn't really slot into this deck very well. These Merfolks and Index are just awful. We've got 2 on summons. We certainly don't want 3. I think 2 is the maximum here. Like I could even go back down 1 and put put like a Kraken Hatchling in or whatever. Because we are running Switcheroo. Like, what am I giving him? I guess I can give him like a token or something. All right, let's try this one out. So we're gonna give this deck a shot. I think there's a few different builds. We can certainly adjust on the fly, but I kind of like green blue, and I want to give it a shot here in M13. I haven't had that yet in a draft or sealed. So yeah. So let's take this thing to the first round.